Hey everybody, it's Matt Shu from Upright Health, and today I am with Felix. Felix has come all the way from Boston to meet with me and to have a chat and to share his story with you guys. So Felix, I've never met Felix before today actually, but Felix has been getting some help from me and Shane using the FAI Fix program. And he's been doing this for, what you said, 3 months?
3 months, yep.
About 3 months, and he's got all kinds of great insights and experiences that we wanted to share with you guys. So Felix, thanks so much for being willing to sit, and thanks for visiting me out here. Can you tell everybody a little bit about what brought you to the FAI Fix and what your hip problems were and what you tried and all that good stuff?
Sure, yeah. So, my problems started probably 5 years ago now, so it has been a long struggle. Started on my left side, probably like a lot of pain in the groin and a lot of trouble with walking, especially upstairs. And so, I went through the motions of seeing doctors, all kinds of doctors. Probably took a year to diagnose it as FAI, and I was told FAI with cam lesion, labral tear. I tried PT for a while, probably around 6 months. And nothing really helped, so I really figured I had gone through all the conservative methods, and finally, probably that was 2 years after diagnosis, decided to do surgery.
Okay. Yeah.
And I did that, some debridement, some removal of the cam lesion, and it improved things somewhat, but I still was really struggling even with walking.
So you said it helped you the first time. You told me before that it helped you get upstairs better.
Yes, yeah, that's what really helped with the upstairs movement. But I couldn't go back to running. I was a really active runner, and a lot of things just sitting. I had a lot of lower back problems, a ton of them. That stuff really didn't improve after the first surgery.
So then you had a second surgery, right?
Yeah, so probably 2 years after that, I had a second surgery, different surgeon, and some more removal of remaining cam impingement, mm-hmm. and a labral repair this time. And so that's now about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
And went through the rehab steps, and again the pain remained. It was different pain. It shifted to different areas. I also had pain start on the right side probably 2 years ago, and overall really not happy with the situation and still looking for some solutions before going and starting and doing some surgery on the right side, of course.
So after the first 2 surgeries, you weren't able to return back to running or doing those kinds of sports that you wanted to do.
Yeah, oh no way. And
then the right one started to hurt, and then the right one, was that also diagnosed with as FAI?
Yeah. So they were diagnosed pretty much at the same time. There were even some doctors that told me, "Hey, just wait 2 years; it will start hurting on the right side."
Oh, great!
Yeah, that was tough, and at that time I just didn't know much about it, and that's when I started, obviously, going on Facebook groups and trying to find out whatever I can about FII.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point after the first surgery, I figured it was probably the doctor. I didn't choose the right doctor.
Right.
That's how the second surgery happened. So the right side, exactly the same imaging, pretty much, in terms of the labral tear. It all looked very much the same, had pretty much the exact same diagnosis.
Okay. So you haven't had surgery on the right side?
Correct, yeah.
And then eventually you found the FAI Fix program, or what was the process by which you...
So it was actually a friend of mine who had found it online. He also started to get some symptoms. I'm also a very active runner, and he had forwarded it to me. So, I took a look, and at that time, you're desperate, so you just, I'll try anything. So I looked into it, and I started with the basic tissue work, and just some of the tidbits that just seemed different from what I had done before with PT, right? Especially, I think definitely some of the tissue work and the approach. Something that really worked for me early on was the inner thigh kettlebell tissue work, and also the holding the stretches for much longer. That it was surprising how much that helped me, because before I really thought that stretching makes things worse, because that's how it felt like. Right?
Gotcha. So the big difference, just to clarify, is the way Shane and I always talk about stretching is that you need to be holding stretches for at least a minute, if not 2 minutes, and really paying attention to make sure that you're feeling muscles stretch and that you're not just pushing. I think you mentioned this earlier today, pushing into the end of the range and trying to achieve the position for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then basically irritating everything, right? So we always say you got to go slow and pay attention and hold that stretch so that the muscles are able to learn. So that's huge. What other things did you notice that were different between PT and the kinds of things that we've been having you do?
Yeah, so one of the things that really helped me was kind of the visualization of what happens in the joint. I mean, I think you guys in some exercises describe this pretty well with, you centering your femur in the socket, right? Stuff like that just really helped me in terms of, well, okay, so what am I really trying to do? And also, what am I supposed to focus on?
Right.
And I think that helps me internally kind of figuring out, so again, where is my focus area and what am I supposed to feel exactly?
So you've been using the FAI Fix for about 3 months, you said. So can you kind of give us a rundown, like what's been your progress? What have things been feeling like? What's remaining? There's still things that remain, but where are you at now? What's changed? What's good? What's bad?
Yeah, so I mean, probably when I started at that point, I still had significant problems walking. Just walking, especially with the left leg, didn't get pretty much any kind of extension, and clearly problems sitting, a lot of stuff like this. So what I've seen is my back problems have improved. Right, I can sit for a while longer. Clearly things, when I still get up, very stiff still, right? My walking has improved, and I think what is really notable for me and just gives me kind of a glimpse in the future is that I can feel that when I do the exercises, different ones, and sometimes different ones each month, but I can feel, hey, it feels much freer. The flexion after the exercises is much improved. It sometimes goes back to feeling more stiff,
right.
But I have longer stretches where I can do higher flexion, things that I hadn't been able to be doing before, right? Basically giving me an impression, hey, if I keep going here, right, there is a goal there. And I tell myself, I mean, I'm being realistic, right? This is gonna be years to get to no pain, but I've invested 5 years already, so this is great. I mean, I'm really seeing some progress, and I'm not looking for a miracle anymore, right? So I know that is clearly not possible, and it wasn't surgery, and this is the most progress I've seen so far. So this is good.
Shane and I are both very happy that you're getting that kind of progress. When we first created the program, the whole reason we created it was because we had the same kinds of hip problems: the snapping, the popping, the aching, the misery, the depression of not being able to do what you want to do. And to hear that somebody is really following through and learning and seeing all that is really exciting for both of us. When we were doing a session here today, so you mentioned that there was a motion that was the pigeon stretch that was kind of restricted, you couldn't quite turn into it, and then we did some deadlifts. And you noticed some improvement. Can you talk a little bit about that? What was the motion, and can you kind of demonstrate a little bit with them what happened? Yeah,
sure. I mean, so the motion is really one of my sort of favorite tests, because it's still an area I'm really working on, and it's really I'm just going to do it freestanding, right? But pulling this in and moving my body to the side, right? This really is tight.
Give me this.
That makes it a lot easier. So here we go. So doing this stretch, Right, so this motion works pretty good, and again, 3 months ago, that's certainly
You
not
couldn't do
something
this.
I really could do.
Okay.
But so where I'm still stuck is really here. The more I move this left leg in, going and doing the pigeon over this. So this, when I first came in today, I couldn't really move that far in,
Anymore, right.
and now, I mean, it certainly works a lot better. It has a lot more flexion. Now, if I after my 1 hour train ride back, that may stiffen up again. But again, right, it's really extending the amount of time that I can do things pain-free, in a row. That's what I'm going after, really incremental progress and not giving up. And I can really tell everyone too, right? I mean, there are going to be moments where you feel like, man, this is a huge setback. And basically going back to the thinking of, it's really step by step, small baby steps, and trying to figure out what is the exercise that helps with this, what is the exercise that helps with this, and that changes during time, right?
Yeah.
What helped me 3 months ago isn't something that necessarily makes a huge difference now.
Right.
And it's so keep evolving this. I think the other big thing for me was adding weights to the thing. It's something I was really very much afraid of, right? I figured if I add weights to what I'm doing now, I'm just going to make things hurt more.
So what's really interesting, actually, the thing that Felix just mentioned with using weight, it was using weight in the Romanian deadlift with 80 pounds total. That really helped that motion that he just showed you. So earlier today when we were doing the session, the thing that just dramatically improved that motion was making him deadlift, right? Just activating the muscles of his hamstrings and his butt while keeping the spine in neutral really helped the femur sit in the right spot in the socket and helped him then go into this totally other motion and be able to get deeper and deeper into that position, right? Which you probably wouldn't do. I think you said, right? You wouldn't do that.
You don't put it together like that, right? And I wouldn't do that. And it's also, I mean, if you guys have the back pain portion as well, right? I mean, you protect your back so much that especially doing any bending down is something you want to avoid. I mean, at least what I've been told basically all the time, use your knees to go down as much as you can. That's how you pick things up, and you avoid any type of back bend, right? So I was very much afraid of that exercise.
Right. But the results are
pretty
clear, right?
It was really it's pretty amazing, I have to say. Yeah.
Any other comments about where where you've been and where you think you're going, and any advice for anybody else who's dealing with this kind of hip issue?
I'm sure that's a lot of advice.
The number one piece of advice, what would you say to somebody who's in your same situation?
I mean, number one advice is don't give up, right? You will get there. I mean, I am, and trust me, I've been there. I've been, pretty terribly depressed about this, right? Really, close to giving up hope here, right? And just looking what can help me, right? So, not giving up is really big, and you can get there, and I'm certainly not there yet, right? Mm-hmm. This is not done. I know there's a long road ahead of me, and I'm really hoping it continues like this, and I think, setting your expectations right is very important, right? It's most likely, I mean, good for you if it's 3 months, but it's most likely not going to be that quick, and there will be ups and downs, and just knowing that there is an end to the road, right? I think it's very, very important, because psychology for me is much part of the game as the physical aspects,
right?
And it's huge, and I'm still learning on how to deal with that.
Well, to give people a good psychological anchor, can you show them one thing that you can do now that you couldn't do 3 months ago?
Sure. I mean, let's start with just a squat. I mean, I say just a squat. I mean, this is, so let's, hopefully this is all visible, so let's try this.
So we want it. Yep. Pretty good.
So this certainly is a lot deeper flexion than I could even dream of.
Where were you before?
3 months ago.
Where did you get before?
On this, I mean, painlessly, I didn't really go anywhere
Okay.
with that. Not much. I mean, it really started hurting very early on with painful snaps in the left. If I was doing that exercise. Now with some warm up that was sort of random at the time, I could go a little deeper. But I think I wouldn't have dared to add weight to this type of exercise yet, right?
Right. Well,
You know, and then
you're getting somewhere. It's
It's
pretty spectacular. I'm really thankful that you were able to make it out here, that you happened to be passing through, and that we could meet in person, and that we've been able to help you out. And everybody is looking forward to hearing how the rest of this story goes. So thanks so much, Felix.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. So everybody, that's it for today. Thanks to Felix for coming today, and thanks for watching. And please remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.